The Africa Climate Summit anticipates significant deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars to be struck, with market-based financing tools like carbon credits taking center stage. But what are carbon credits and why should ordinary Kenyans care? To make sense of it all, we need to revisit the 1997 Kyoto Protocol, which brought about the system of cap and trade as the world's core intervention in addressing greenhouse gas emissions. How cap and trade works is that the government, through regulatory bodies, set caps on the amount of greenhouse gases that can be emitted by players in the economy. Ideally, the cap will be reduced with every passing year to ensure that over time, the country transitions to near zero emissions of greenhouse gases into the environment. The cap is then split into credits, what we call carbon credits, which are then sold to farms and individuals. A carbon credit represents 1 ton of carbon dioxide removed from the environment. Entities that go beyond the prescribed amount in carbon emissions have no option but to buy carbon credits to stay below the emissions limit. The mission is to reduce their carbon footprint, the total amount of greenhouse gases generated by human activities. To put this into perspective, an airline, for instance, which relies on fossil fuels, may purchase carbon credits created by a reforestation project. Through this, the government not only creates a disincentive for greenhouse gas emissions, but also generates a pool of funding, which can then be channeled towards initiatives that bolster climate risk resilience. President William Ruto on the 1st of September signed into law the Climate Change Amendment Bill 2023, setting the stage for the regulation of carbon markets. With the new law, Kenya joins several countries globally, including South Africa, India, Indonesia, and Vietnam.
We have the carbon sinks that serves the world, cleans our environment, but we get nothing for it. It's not anywhere in our balance sheet. The day we put our whole assets in our balance sheet, you will know that we are a very wealthy continent.
Smallholder farmers in Kenya can also earn from the voluntary markets by selling carbon credits generated from various farming activities, such as mangrove farming in the coastal regions of Kenya. Mangrove forests create what is called a carbon sink, which means it absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The ocean, soil and forest are the world's largest carbon sinks.
The restoration and expansion of Africa's natural carbon sinks are not just an environmental imperative, they are an unparalleled economic gold mine.
But not everyone is sold on the potential of carbon markets on the continent. Critics argue that carbon markets are often poorly regulated and a distraction from the unmet climate finance obligations of the global north countries to the global south.
For a very long time, we have looked at this as a problem. It is time we flipped and looked at it from the other side. There are immense opportunities as well. We will not shy away from the difficult conversations and uncomfortable realities that must be addressed to achieve meaningful change.
There are human rights concerns too, linking carbon credit projects to serious rights violations across the world, including the violent eviction of thousands from Kenya's Mau forest, underscoring the importance of regulation and scrutiny in carbon markets.